and I'm the new CEO of Operation Underground Railroad.
Okay, I guess first off, could you just give us a little bit of sense of, with respect to Underground Railroad, did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them for this position? How did that unfold?
Yeah, it's one of those things that just seems like kismet. They found me through LinkedIn, and I happen to have a couple lines in my LinkedIn profile about the anti-trafficking work that I had done with Carlson Companies and the White House Interagency Task Force to prevent human trafficking. And that single line must have popped up something in an algorithm where this opportunity showed up in my feed. And I wasn't looking for a new role, but I when I saw this, I thought, boy, this is an opportunity of a lifetime.
So I wanted to ask you about that. When they call and they say, hey, we're interested in having you come lead our organization, what was your initial thought?
Well, first of all, I'm deeply committed to the work of the anti-trafficking mission, and OUR has done a lot of great work over the years. And I've been in this space and I'm passionate about this space. So I was very interested in the opportunity. That being said, I did do some due diligence and saw that there were some things that I needed to think through about whether or not this was the right time and right organization to join. And through my due diligence and visits to Salt Lake City and with others, I met with about 20 people at the team at Salt Lake City. I got great confidence that this team is the right team to lead it forward. And the new board is phenomenal. They've taken care of cleaning up a lot of the sins of the past. So I just think we're positioned for a very bright new future.
A lot of our viewers have taken a look at OUR maybe over the past 6 months or so, the past year, and maybe they have a preconceived notion because of the previous person who ran this organization. Is this OUR under your leadership an entirely different OUR than maybe what our viewers are used to hearing and seeing?
What I hope your viewers will find is this is an OUR that will lead with integrity, and we will become, again, the moral compass for work against anti-trafficking. And the team at Salt Lake City is phenomenal. The people around the world are amazing people that are deeply committed to the cause. And what amazes me through all of these dark days that they've faced with media coverage and other allegations, they have stayed true to the mission, and they haven't let that dark day cast a shadow on the great work that they're doing. So I'm really excited about the bright future that we have ahead. And I will tell you today, when I sent out the email to employees, I got so many warm responses. The team there is ready for a new future and a new direction. And with this new board, I feel like we're well positioned to change the perception of what has been and now lead into a very different way of operating OUR.
You talk about changing the perception. In one of the quotes from the chairman said that, this is a significant milestone in hiring you in this position on the path of transformation. What needs to be transformed and how do you do that?
First of all, I think it's really rebuilding trust. As you mentioned, there are some perception issues. It's not just in Salt Lake City. It happens to affect some of our operations with NGOs around the world and with the federal government. But I think they will give us a fresh look. I think they'll give us a new chance to do the good work that we have been doing. And we're going to really double down with this new effort to really focus on the work of helping survivors reacclimate into a new world. OUR is really known for the rescue missions that they've done, and I think that's been highly publicized. We're going to be equally focused on the recovery and aftercare mission that we commit to for survivors, because I think without one, the other isn't as impactful. So that's going to be a strong focus of the work that I and the new team will be doing together.
Can I ask you this? Your predecessor used this tactic called the couple's ruse. Is that something that you will forbid being used in any operation?
Yeah, to be honest, I hadn't even heard what that term was before I started doing my due diligence on this. And of course, we are going to do the right things in the right way. And we are going to lead with a new moral compass for OUR. And we will become the North Star of not only working to combat trafficking, but also to work on providing comprehensive care for survivors. So this is a whole new day for OUR.
So I'm hearing you correct in saying couple's ruse is no more.
No more.
Yeah. What is the challenge for you in taking on this transformation?
So the challenge for me is getting to know the organization. I know the field well, and I'm very committed to the mission of anti-trafficking, but I need to get to know the team in Salt Lake City. They're an amazing and qualified and capable team of people that are deeply committed to the cause. Those that have stayed through some of these darker days boy, they're looking for a bright new future with OUR. So I've got to get to know them. I'm excited about building out the team there. I'm excited about building out operations around the world that not only are focused on the rescue missions with local law enforcement, but also the aftercare, which is critically important to the work that we do. And also we need to build coalitions with other NGOs and other nonprofits that are working in this space. This isn't just a mission that we're on. This is a mission that we need to collaborate with others on to make sure that we can make meaningful impact on our effort to end human trafficking.
It looks like one of the things you want to do is expand to new cities. Do you have any idea what cities those may be, or how many cities you want to expand to?
Yeah, so a couple cities where we already have areas of excellence. I happen to be in Minneapolis right now as we're having this conversation, but I'll be spending a lot of time in Salt Lake City. Minneapolis, St. Paul will be a focus area because there are a lot of nonprofits that are already doing great work in this space. We'll also build out our work in Washington, D.C., where we'll try and make more of an impact on the advocacy and regulatory arena. And then Miami is a center of excellence where we already have deep expertise in cybersecurity and working with law enforcement to kind of identify these traffickers and catch them before they can do their bad works. So those are the 3 cities that we'll probably start on. There will be other opportunities for us to expand this work, but we've got to start somewhere, and that's the place where we already have some strength. So we'll start there, but Salt Lake City is certainly going to be an epicenter of the work that we do.
Can you help our viewers understand a little bit about your background? I guess you did do some work with the White House Interagency Task Force combating trafficking. What is your background in the trafficking space, the anti-trafficking space?
So I've worked for large airlines, Northwest Airlines, Delta Airlines, and Carlson companies leading corporate affairs. And all 3 of those organizations were deeply committed to anti-trafficking and the work that we could do in the travel and tourism industry to help prevent that. With Carlson companies, I had the good fortune of working with Marilyn Carlson Nelson, who's well known in the space. And through that work, I was able to participate on the White House Interagency Task Force, as well as the American Hotel and Lodging Association and U.S. Travel Association. All of those organizations, along with Northwest and Delta Airlines, were all deeply committed to this cause. So I had a head start coming into this role and already a deep passion for it. So I'm excited now to be able to apply that very directly into the work that we do through our OUR in Salt Lake City and through our focus cities and centers of excellence around the country.
Yeah. Would you be willing to comment on, it seems like from everything that I'm hearing you say, you are not Tim Ballard. Like, you're going to run this ship and you're going to do things your way, really not anything that his way. Am I hearing you correctly in saying that? Is that a fair assessment?
That's a very fair assessment. In fact, I've never met Tim Ballard. I've never met most of the people that have worked with Tim Ballard. Tim was long gone before I came into this interview process, and the old board was gone before I came into this interview process. So I get to come into this opportunity with a great sense of joy and commitment to the cause, but also a fresh and clean slate. There's been a lot of bad news about what happened in the past, but my view is we can't let one bad apple destroy an orchard full of goodness that has been happening in this organization. So whatever the sins of the past are not the way that we're going to be operating in the future. And I think it's all clear sailing ahead with a new team, new organization, and expansion of our mission, not only in the US, but around the world.
You mentioned that this is kind of a clean slate. You're going to do things your way. Sins of the past are not what's going to be going forward. What do you tell someone that watches this that maybe donated in the past and has some questions about donating in the future? What do we say to that person?
Yeah, well, we have to work to regain their trust, not only with the donors and funders, but other NGOs and law enforcement and with federal agencies and the viewers in Salt Lake City. They've seen a lot of things that have made them question OUR. What I can say is I came in and did my due diligence. I met with 20 people on the team. I've met with people around the world through Zoom calls, and I have absolute confidence that this group is fully committed to a bright new future, and they're going to do the right things the right way with ethics that are absolutely above board.
And it seems like you start in just about a week, correct?
Yes, but as you can see, I'm already diving into the role and really excited about that. I can't wait to get to Salt Lake City and meet with the rest of the team and some of the other constituents that are there, as well as the media and other stakeholders. But my role is also to do what you said just a few minutes ago, rebuild confidence with the donors and funders, rebuild confidence with NGOs. We need to be a collaborator in this effort. We cannot do this work alone. So we are going to be, we'll be looping arms with others around the country that are doing this work and around the world.
Will you be moving here to Salt Lake full-time in this new role?
I'll be spending a good amount of time there, but in fact, I'm already looking at an apartment there. I haven't been able to look at it in person because I won't be there till next week, but yes, I will be having a strong presence in Salt Lake City, but really this work, as you've heard me say, is international and it's national. So it requires a fair amount of travel time, but I am deeply committed to Salt Lake City and the Salt Lake team and can't wait to roll up my sleeves and work beside them there.
A lot of the things you mentioned in the reorganization and rebirth of OUR sounded like they were going to take place mostly stateside when you speak of partnering with organizations and specifically the rehabilitation for victims. Do you see OUR's focus as being more stateside than a lot of what we saw previously, which was outreach missions and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's really both and. So we are going to grow our centers of excellence here where we have expertise, as I mentioned, cybersecurity in Miami, regulatory and advocacy in Washington, D.C., advancement, fundraising, et cetera, partnership building in Minneapolis. But this is absolutely an international NGO. So we are focused not only in the 20 plus geographies where we also have strength, but also growing our partnership with law enforcement agencies and NGOs around the world. This is going to require some time to rebuild that trust, but we are fully committed to being an international organization that will be in the effort to end human trafficking.
Awesome. Tammy, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts on this. Congrats on the new job.
Thank you.
Good luck. And we'll probably see you when you're here in Salt Lake at some
I
point.
sure hope so. Thanks for the opportunity to talk with your viewers tonight. I couldn't be more pleased, and thank you for the outreach.